that redaction. Now, Shervanack, with that redaction, any objection to states 1-50?
I can't show it to the jury.
Hold on, not yet.
No, I need to clarify. I want to make sure this box is going to travel when we publish it. So just one moment.
Yeah, it will. Okay. Sorry. May we approach?
Of course. Below 12/19/24, please. Perfect. Ms. Shervanack, I need a yes or a no here.
Just a moment.
Yeah.
Redactions need to be in black, so that we know something.
Yeah, if they could just be in black, so we know that they're not just removed, so that it looks like a redacted version.
Sure.
That would be helpful.
Any objection from the state?
No.
Okay. 1-15 as redacted is now published.
So,
From there, Ms. Mr. My apologies.
no worries. Thank you, Your Honor. So that list right there, that is the list of the dates of every single time through December of 24 when the home was searched by law enforcement, correct?
Correct.
And in your Matterport videos, which have been introduced, if the jury wants to use this key, they can go back and compare. The little pink dots were from the search on March 5th, and the magenta dots were from the search on August 9th, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Since this list was prepared, you all have been back to the home again, right?
Correct.
And what date did you return to the home that is not listed on this list?
I don't remember the exact date, but it was about a month or two ago.
So sometime in February of 2025 or
Correct.
6.
Yes, I believe it was February 6th around that time.
Okay. Were there any other searches after December 24 and between the one on February 6th of 26?
I don't believe so.
And every single one of the times that you guys went in this home, you're trying to find evidence about what happened in the 6 hours before Mr. Richins' body was discovered, right?
Correct.
And you kept going back and back and back.
Yes.
All right, I do want to talk a little bit. You can take it down. Thank you. I do want to talk a little bit about the Matterport. You mentioned you did some measuring.
Correct.
Is it the same device you do the video with that does the measurements?
Yeah, it's the Matterport.
Okay. And I believe you said you measured the distance from the master bedroom to the front door?
Correct.
And then from what is the second one you did?
There's one from the master bedroom to the kitchen, master bedroom to each boy's room.
Okay. And what's the purpose? Why did you make those measurements?
I was asked to try to figure out how far they were to correlate with data that was retrieved off of a cell phone.
Perfect. Did you also take any measurements from the master bedroom to the back porch door?
I have not, no.
Did you notice the day that you were there when Mr. Richins died? Did they have a dog?
I believe so, yes.
Did you also measure the distance from the master bedroom to the master bathroom?
I did not.
Or to the hallway bathroom?
No.
Also, in your report from the search on the 13th, you mentioned that you all collected some hydrocodone pills. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Where did you find those?
Hold on. Okay, my apologies, Ms. Nestor. Keep going.
Where did you find those pills?
I didn't personally find them, but they were located in the laundry room in the cabinet.
And how many hydrocodone pills did you find?
Like I said, I wasn't the one that found them. I collected them. I don't know the exact, approximately 10 around that.
And were they in a bottle or were they loose?
They were in a bag.
And in the garage, I know you were very careful about marking where every single thing was found. When these hydrocodone pills were found in the garage, what were they near?
They weren't in the garage. They were
I'm
in the
sorry.
laundry room.
The laundry room, which is right at the door where the garage starts, right?
It's near it, yes.
And what was it near?
It was inside the cabinet in the laundry room.
Up high?
Correct.
Is there any way to tell if a hydrocodone pill was purchased, if you find it loose like that, not in a bottle? Is there any way for law enforcement to look at it and say, hey, this is bought on the street or this is bought in the drugstore?
Not that I know of on scene.
You also had a picture that you referred to when Ms. Shervanack was questioning you that had the picture of all the gummies on it. I believe it is exhibit number. Sorry, give me just a second. Thank you. 9-12. Can we put that up, Your Honor? It's been admitted.
Let's make sure it's the one you want before I show it to the jury.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yep. That's the one I want. The one that's on the screen. Can we publish that, Your Honor?
Any objection, Ms. Sherman?
No, Your Honor.
One moment.
And I need to approach the screen. Do I need permission for that? Or
No.
Okay.
Just make sure your mic is working. We're not going to pick you up.
So this picture that you have in front of you, you told Ms. Shervanack that all of these gummies were seized together. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, but I'm seeing these two little plastic baggies of gummies up at the top that are not labeled, that don't have any commercial labeling. Are you saying these two were all in the same place with all the rest of these?
Correct. That's what I was told.
So if there's a picture of these in the top of the kitchen where you actually have a dot above the fridge, then you would be incorrect that they were all found together.
That's a different package that was found above the fridge.
Oh, so there was at least 3 clear packages that had no commercial marking on them?
Correct.
With gummies in them? Okay. And the gummies that are on the screen that have the red packaging, at least one of those was found in that green jacket in the closet, right?
Not these specific ones. That's an additional one that was located.
So there was another red bag of gummies.
Correct.
Did anybody take that green jacket into custody?
No.
Do you recall where in the closet it was as compared to near men's clothing or women's clothing?
It was in the the southeast corner of the closet.
Is that where the men's clothing was located?
I'm not sure if it was men's or women's, to be honest.
Okay. All right, now I want to move to the search that occurred on Can we put the key back up that we just had on, the key? Make sure I have the right date. I don't want to say the wrong date. Get correct. Oh, there it is. March 14th of 2022, right? Is that the next one that was on your key?
Yeah, that's the second one, correct.
All right. What was the purpose of the search on March 14th, which was just about I think that's a typo because you
that is a typo. Yes.
Okay, can we
It's April 14th.
Can you pull that out, Katie? Can you pull that out? Make it bigger so the jury can see it. So where it says 3/14/22 sunflower yellow, that actually should read April 13th, right?
Correct.
So is that the only mistake on there?
I believe so.
Okay, just want to make sure the jury remembers that. All right, so the next search would have been May 8th of 2023, correct?
Correct.
And those are going to be forest green dots on your Matterport.
Correct.
And what was the purpose of going back to the house a couple months or a year later on May 8th of 2023? What were you looking for that time?
I believe that one was to obtain additional electronics and also documents and drugs.
And when you went to that search, was any fentanyl located in the home?
No.
All right. And then the next search you did, which was October 24th of 2023, what was the purpose of going back for that search?
I'd have to double check my notes. I believe that's one that we were collecting some more electronics.
All right. Was there ever a time prior to any of those, well, let's just keep going. On the 31st, do you remember why you guys were searching a week later? Why you went back?
I believe that one was also for electronics and or documents.
Prior to all of these searches and the ones that are listed below it,
Or, I'm sorry, I believe those two in December were actually for some copper cups and drugs.
okay. And the copper cups, you actually found them, right?
We found several, correct.
And where were they when you found them?
I believe on the first one, some were located upstairs in the kitchen.
And they were tested, I'm sure.
Yes.
All right. And so if Ms. Richins, in any of her interviews, stated that they had a gift of copper cups and had a drink that night, you found something that corroborated that part of her story, correct?
We found copper cups, correct.
All right. And if Ms. Richins gave interviews that said that her husband may have taken a gummy that night, you found gummies that could have corroborated that part of her story, right?
We found gummies, yes.
And if she said that she pulled him on a sheet off onto the ground to try to start CPR, you found a sheet that corroborated that part of her story.
Correct.
And you measured the distances between the bedroom, between the children's rooms, not the whole house, but a good part of the house. And so there were steps that were recorded on her phone that were consistent with her moving around the house prior to calling 911, correct?
Correct.
So that corroborated her story that she had been somewhere other than the bedroom.
Your Honor. She's introducing her client's statements as hearsay through this witness.
Well, I think they've already all been brought up. Okay.
Overruled.
And then,
Your Honor, may we approach?
In these searches that you all were conducting, was there ever a time where you were conducting a search because the private investigator had revealed to law enforcement that there were items worthy of going back to the house for?
Yes.
How many times did that happen?
At least one that I recall.
All right, I want to talk about that one time. Does that involve the letter that was recovered from the bed?
Okay, there's two.
Okay, 2 times. So tell me about the first one that you remembered.
I believe it was a voice recording or a recording device that was located.
And you all got information from a private investigator that had been in the scene on the house that he'd found something he thought you wanted to see.
Correct.
And so you issued a warrant and went and picked it up.
I did not issue the warrant, but somebody else did.
Of course. I'm sorry, that's inaccurate. A warrant was issued and
Correct.
you guys went in. All right, and the second time, what did that involve?
A letter that was located.
And the letter that was located in this search, and do you remember the date of the search? You want me to refresh your memory?
If you could, yes, please.
Sure, no worries. 11/7/24.
Okay.
Your purple day. It's your purple dot day. My understanding is a letter was recovered on the foot of the bed, of Eric's side of the bed.
Correct.
Now, the jury has seen multiple photos from that night where there's clearly no letter on that bed.
Correct.
And there were several, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 searches prior to November of 24 where that letter was not seen on the bed, right?
Correct.
And that included walkthroughs of defense counsel, walkthroughs of prosecution team, you doing Matterport videos where there's no letter on the foot of the bed, right?
Correct.
And then when all of a sudden, when you guys get there in November, there's this letter on the bed.
Yes.
Right. And you took that into evidence.
Yes, we did.
Same when you went and you got the tip off that there's a recording device, you went and were you showed exactly where it was by the private investigator?
Yes.
How many times when you all searched the house was the private investigator there and present?
I don't know. I wasn't told.
When you saw him with your own eyes, right?
Just the one time.
Just once that you saw him.
Correct.
At some point, and I just need to clarify this for the jury too, in addition to the physical evidence that's seized at the scene, documentary evidence, electronic evidence, you also were in charge of maintaining video footage of witness interviews. Is that right?
Correct.
And every witness that was interviewed that had an audio or videotape, you saved it and did all those procedures we talked about at the very beginning of your testimony.
Correct.
At some point, did you become aware that 2 witness interviews, the audio or the video was missing?
I vaguely recall that, yes.
Does it refresh your memory if I tell you that you were unable to locate interview footage for witnesses Nick Bonsavage, and Nancy Peterson?
I don't know for sure if those were missing or if they hadn't been booked in yet.
Have you ever located those 2 interviews to this day?
I'm unsure.
Also, one of the items you recovered on a search on September, well, I'm not sure of the date, so I'm just going to say one of the searches you seized or took custody of an Apple Watch that belonged to Kouri Richins. Is that right?
Correct.
And when you took custody of that Apple Watch, it had a massive amount of data on it, correct?
I wouldn't say a mass amount of data. It had a gigabytes worth of data.
So it wasn't deleted.
No.
So if someone testified that the Apple Watch had been deleted, that might not be true. Wasn't true because you got it.
On Eric's Apple Watch, we had very little data off of it.
You had how much data?
I don't recall the exact amount.
But you had data on it.
We had some data, yes.
So it wasn't deleted.
I don't recall if anything was deleted off of it.
Thank you. In addition to the computer that Todd Gabler turned over to law enforcement that had originally belonged to Eric, did Todd Gabler take physical possession of any evidence first before giving it to the law enforcement? Do you know besides the computer?
Not that I'm aware of.
Thank you. One of the things you found on the search in November 7th of 2024, you all found what's called an epinephrine medical injection unit, right?
Correct.
And can you tell us what that is?
I believe that one was just a EpiPen that's used to administer insulin.
Or maybe not insulin, maybe something for an allergic reaction.
Yes.
And that's something that you normally find on a scene if someone's severely allergic?
Correct.
And where did you find that epinephrine medical injection?
I believe it was in the kitchen. I believe it was inside the refrigerator.
Wasn't there also one located in the master bathroom?
At one point, I believe so.
All right. And you did not take that into evidence?
No.
You just noted it?
Correct.
You also found syringes in the master bedroom?
Yes. In the master bedroom.
I'm sorry, master bathroom?
There was some in the master closet.
And where in the closet were the syringes located?
At the very top shelf in the northwest corner.
Up high.
Correct.
And did you all take those into evidence?
Yes.
Did you test them
No. They were unused.
and destroyed them?
They were not destroyed, no.
But you still have them?
Correct.
And there was one syringe that you found in the master bathroom, I believe, that did have residue of substance in it, right?
There was a syringe located in the kitchen.
Okay. And was that tested?
That one was, yes.
And what was the substance that was determined to be inside that syringe?
I don't recall what was the positive.
When you were searching the home, did you also find oxycodone pills?
I'm unsure.
And the Quetiapine pills that we talked about yesterday that was in the bag that we had you open and untape?
The Quetiapine?
The Quetiapine pills that were in the bag that we opened, actually I think it was yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. But it had some little substance in it that
The
was,
2 half pills.
that's what I was about to ask you.
Quetiapine.
Quetiapine.
Yes.
And that pill was cut in half, correct?
I don't recall if it was. It's in 2 halves right now, yes.
Right. So the pill was in 2 halves.
Correct.
And you didn't do that.
No.
And you've protected that, so that must be the condition it was in when you got it.
Yes.
All right. Court's indulgence for just 1 minute. I think I'm wrapping up.
Okay.
I believe, if it refreshes your memory, that the last search that was conducted on the house might have been February 9th. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
And when you went and searched the house on February 9th, what did you take away from the house on the 9th?
A black Under Armour jacket
Where did you find that jacket?
in one of the downstairs bedroom closets.
And how many jackets would you say were in that house 3 years after the death?
There were
4 years?
a lot of jackets.
Right. And that's the jacket you picked and you took it with you out of the house.
Correct.
And I want to be really specific about the search of the truck. So there were 2 trucks. One was a brown work truck and one was a red truck. Which is the truck that you believe was searched when you were present and logging in all the search materials?
I believe it was red. It was the truck that was inside the garage.
So you have no notice or no note anywhere that the brown truck that Eric spent all day, every day in was ever searched on the day of his death or in the month after?
I didn't personally know.
And you didn't note it down because that would be your job, right?
If I didn't search it, then it wouldn't be my job to note it down.
Well, if someone inventoried anything out of the truck, it would be, right?
If they took anything out of the truck, yes.
Okay. One moment, Your Honor. There was a canine search run at one point with a dog.
Yes.
When was that, approximately? You don't need to know the exact date.
That was on the April 14th of 2022 search.
And was the canine just run through the home?
I can't attest to where it ran. I believe it just ran through the entire home.
To your knowledge, did the canine go into any vehicles on that day?
I'm unaware.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I tender the witness. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ms. Sherman.
Let's see how many things I can stack on this podium. Ms. Gibson, let's talk about March 4th. That's the day that of 2022. That's the day Eric Richins died. Did you have a search warrant that day?
No, we did not.
Were you legally permitted to search the house for anything you wanted?
No, not at that time.
Were you looking for prescriptions of Eric Richins?
Yes.
And you weren't looking for prescriptions of Kouri Richins?
No.
Why not?
A little closer, yeah.
How's that? Are we better?
Yeah, thank you very much.
And you weren't looking for prescriptions of Kouri Richins?
Correct.
Why not?
Typically, when we have a death investigation, we only look for the decedent's medications or any other medicine that could be potentially misused. I think we did note some prescription bottles of Kouri Richins just to verify, make sure there wasn't an overdose possibility on those.
And you didn't find any hydrocodone that day?
No.
So let's move forward 5 weeks. April 13th, 2022. That's the first time the house is searched by a search warrant.
Correct.
You weren't in the house between March 4th of 2022 when Eric died and April 13th of 2022.
Correct.
There was no search warrant on the home in that time frame.
Correct.
And you went back on April 13th with a search warrant looking for fentanyl
Yes.
because fentanyl killed Eric Richins.
Correct.
Now, Ms. Nestor asked you about a truck being searched on April 13th.
Yes.
And the truck that was searched was a red truck.
I believe so.
When you were at the home during any of those searches, but in particular on April 13th, was there a brown truck at the home?
I don't recall.
If there was a brown truck there and something was found in it, would you have been made aware of that?
Yes.
If we could, Scott, put up Exhibit 1-16 and 1-18 side by side. Are they up? I can see one picture.
Let me know when you're ready.
I messed something up.
Is this what you wanted to show the witness?
Yes, Scott, is there a second page to 1-18? Okay, go. That's the view that I would like, please. If we could publish that to the jury.
Any objection, Ms. Nestor?
No.
So when we're looking at these two photographs, the photograph on the left, I just want to make this clear for the jury. These items were located on April 13th, 2022.
Correct.
And the items on the left were located in the cupboard above the toilet.
Correct.
The item on the right was located in the kitchen.
Correct.
Now, you also testified with Ms. Nestor there was hydrocodone found in a baggie,
Yes.
and that was located kind of like a mudroom area.
Yeah.
Were those items sent to be tested at the lab?
I believe so, but I'm not positive.
Scott, if we could show the witness exhibit 1-17, please. Is there a second page to that one? Okay, that view is fine. If we could show that to the jury, please.
Ms. Nestor?
No objection.
Is this a photograph that you took?
Yes.
Did you look at that jacket?
I didn't look inside the jacket.
Not inside the jacket, but did you look at the jacket?
Not really, no.
Could you tell if it was a men's jacket or a women's jacket?
I can't tell now.
You can take it down. Now, I want to talk about the black jacket, the Under Armour jacket. You went back and retrieved that jacket from the home
Correct.
with a search warrant.
Yes.
Why did you retrieve that jacket out of all the jackets in the home?
It was the jacket that a pair of tweezers and a small piece of plastic was located in.
So, Ms. Nestor has gone over these multiple searches with you. Why do you keep going back to the house?
We obtained additional information that could potentially lead to something else that we could have missed originally. We're looking for different items.
The investigation, is it developing between those searches?
Yes.
You're receiving new information?
Yes.
And we talked about some phone calls that you had retrieved and booked into evidence. Were you ever, is that correct?
Yes.
Were you ever involved in downloading, storing, retrieving, preserving any secret phone calls?
What do you mean secret phone calls?
Yes or no?
No.
Give me just a minute. Those are all my questions for you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Within the scope of
I
redirect,
will,
please.
absolutely. So what you just said to Ms. Chevernick, you would go back in case you missed things,
And we obtain additional information
in case you missed it.
with additional information.
And you had to do that, looks like a minimum of 10 times.
Yes, we kept obtaining additional information.
So each time you went back, you found things you'd missed before?
It's things that weren't being looked for before.
Okay. At the very beginning of Ms. Chevernick's questions, she mentioned that you were not legally authorized to search the home on the day of the death pursuant to a warrant, correct?
Correct.
However, you can certainly legally search a home if someone consents and says, hey, search my home, right?
Correct.
Okay, and Ms. Richins didn't stop anyone from searching anything in that house, did she?
I
At
didn't
any
have,
point?
I didn't have any interaction with her, so I'm unaware.
I mean, she didn't stop you?
Correct.
And you knew when you arrived, because you were there to help Detective Woody, you knew from the minute you got there that somebody was making allegations that she was involved in the death. From the minute you got there, right?
Not the minute I got there, no.
How soon after you got there?
I don't recall how long it had been. I was just there to assist Detective Woody, and there were some suspicious circumstances.
And you knew that day, right?
I know there was some allegations, yes, that day.
Did you ever go to Ms. Richins and say, may I please photograph your bathroom? May I please photograph your kitchen sink? May I please have those drink cups that are in the sink? Did you ever do any of that?
No.
Okay. I think that's all I have. Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Shervinack, anything else?
No, Judge.
Okay. Ms. Gibson, you can step down. You can take the things in your custody with you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Am I released from my subpoena? Or am I gonna
I'm actually not sure. Let me ask. That's a fair question.
Do we need to release her or just hold her?
If we could just not release her, but we promise if we need her, we'll give her much advance notice that
Fair
she needs to
notice,
come
yeah.
back.
So you're not released. We'll make sure you get fair notice.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
And if she could be advised not to discuss her testimony.
Yeah. Counsel, would you approach?
Yes.
You're free to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Shervinack, Mr. Bloodworth, the state's next witness.
The Dr. Peterson.
Okay.
Your Honor, I need to go look at one piece of evidence and bring it up for this examination, so could I just have a minute or two to
Yeah,
talk?
you know what, folks? We'll just let you stretch your legs for 5 minutes. All rise for the jury, please. Have a seat. The court will be in recess until Mr. Burmester. Why don't you do that, and I'll give Mr. Bloodworth the benefit of the record. How about that?
Okay.
Very good, Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, I appreciate that. I've actually asked Ms. Payer for a quick dirty of the transcript. I think that would help the argument. I don't have it yet.
No problem. We'll do it later.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll be in recess until 9:30.
All right.
invite the jury in.
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Lewis.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. We need Mr. Burmester. Peggy. Tom, would you get the jury lined up for me? Oh, thank you. Sir, if you just wait in the gallery for just a second. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, right there is fine. Okay. Mr. Burmester, are we ready for the jury?
We are.
Okay, let's bring the jury in, please. Have a seat, folks. Thank you. All right. Have a seat. Thank you. Mr. Burmester, the state's next witness, please.
The state calls Brianna Peterson.
Okay. Dr. Peterson, if you'd step in front of Brittany, we'll get you sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. Please have a seat.
Hello, doctor. Can you please state your full name and spell your last name for the record?
Brianna Lynn Peterson, Peterson.
Are you employed, ma'am?
Yes.
How are you employed?
I'm a forensic toxicologist with NMS Labs.
How long have you been a forensic toxicologist?
Over 20 years.
And with NMS?
I've been with NMS since June of 2021.
Okay. So you were working there in March of 2022?
Correct.
Okay. What is a forensic toxicologist?
Forensic toxicology, you analyze biological samples for the presence or absence of drugs and alcohol.
And what is your education, briefly?
I received my bachelor's degree in chemistry from the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse in 1997, a master's degree in forensic science from the University of Illinois at Chicago in 1999, and a PhD in toxicology from the University of Georgia in 2007.
Since becoming a forensic toxicologist 20 years ago, have you had training, continuous training?
Yes, so throughout my career, I've received training specific to the chemical extractions that are to be performed on the biological samples, the instrumentation that's used for the analysis, and then also pharmacology for the interpretation of the drug and ethanol results and how they might apply to either impairment or a medical legal death investigation.
So, have you had a chance to, this is kind of a funny question, have you had a chance to check the data from biological samples?
Yes.
About how many times have you done that?
So my primary job duty is case review. So on average, I probably review 12,000 cases a year with NMS Labs.
And have you ever testified before as an expert in a criminal case?
Yes, I have.
About how many times?
Approximately 160.
How does the toxicology process work? I mean, how do you get it? at whose request, and what happens to it?
So NMS receives samples from various clients like medical examiners, coroners, law enforcement, hospitals. So we receive the evidence and the client will request specific testing to be performed.
And you said they come from all over the country?
Correct.
And so how do they get there?
So they can be shipped via FedEx, UPS, hand delivery, U.S. mail.
Then once they arrive at NMS, what happens to the sample?
We have a specimen processing department that will open up the packaging, compare the evidence against the information that was provided by the client on a request form to make sure that the information matches. And then we create our own unique case. We have an electronic laboratory information management system where we'll input all the information provided to us, what testing was requested, and then we give each case a unique 8-digit number that we barcode. So all of the evidence is barcoded so it can be tracked throughout the time in the laboratory.
Once they receive it and process it as you've just described, then is it secured someplace?
Yes, so it's a secure facility in general, and then so the building is secure, and then the laboratory also has limited access to the people that need to use the laboratory, and then where the evidence is stored in like walk-in freezers or fridges, that also requires like a prox card access. So it's secure and then limited to staff that need access to those areas.
So when it comes to testing, what happens? We heard about some gray vials and stuff, for example. What happens to the, I mean, how does it get into the laboratory?
What's up, guys?
So for this case, we received 2 blood samples. They were both in gray top vials. So each vial is going to get its own unique barcode number. And then when testing is going to be performed, we will take out a small volume of blood that's needed for the test. So we have the original container that was received, and we just remove out or aliquot the amount of volume that's needed for the test. And then, that's placed into a clean new test tube that also is barcoded and tracked.
Then this aliquot is forwarded to the lab for the scientists to run through the instruments?
Yes, so the aliquot is given to a staff member who will perform the specific test following a standardized operating procedure.
Okay. Is it run by itself or in batches of cases?
So we run batches, so there's going to be many other unknown case samples, and then also every batch will have a set of standards and controls that is also run concurrently with the unknown cases.
So when the instrument runs its test on any particular sample, how is the data entered?
So everything is being tracked by that unique case number that we gave it. Once an extraction is performed, the sample is run on an instrument. The instrument has inputted, like they scan the barcode to tell the instrument this is, this vial is this case number. After the data is reviewed, it's sent electronically from the instrument to our electronic laboratory information management system that stores the results. So it's always just following our unique case number.
Is there someone near in time who then reviews that data to make sure that it was processed properly?
Yes, so after the person in the laboratory performs their procedure, it runs on an instrument. When the instrument is done running the entire batch, someone's going to review all of the data for the knowns to make sure that the positive controls were positive, the negatives were negative, and then that all of the unknown cases, that any results that were found meet the acceptance criteria for reporting. So they'll look at the batch in its entirety to make sure that it's acceptable based on those standards and controls. And then when they're done, a second person is going to do the exact same thing. So it's like a double check of their work before that batch is released and those results sent to the computer system.
And that's the same process for each test that you run on all the various substances?
Correct.
Okay. When do you come into the picture?
So after all testing has been completed for a case, then in my role as a toxicologist, I'm going to review the data from all of the testing that was performed for this specific case. I also have access to the administrative information provided by the client on that request form, so I'm making sure that the correct testing was performed that was requested. So I review everything, and then I will issue a final toxicology report with the findings from all of the testing.
So in this particular case, you received some samples from the Utah Medical Examiner on March 8th?
Correct.
Okay. And it was assigned the unique number at that point?
Correct.
And what did you receive?
We received 2 tubes of blood, vitreous fluid, urine, liver tissue, and gastric fluid.
Okay. And initially, what were you asked to do?
Initially, it was just requested that we perform a test that screens for alcohol and drugs in one of the blood samples.
And did you do that?
Yes.
Okay. In the screening, were any of those? Did any of those come up positive for substances that you subsequently tested a confirmatory test?
Yes.
Okay. And tell the jury about that.
So we first perform a broad drug screen that looks for hundreds of different drugs. And then based on those results, if there's any positive findings, then we will perform a second confirmation test that's more specific and sensitive for that drug or drug class. And so that's, we're taking a separate aliquot, performing a separate test, running on another instrument to confirm those original screening results.
And in this case, what did you find in the confirmatory test?
Fentanyl and norfentanyl.
Okay, did the confirmatory test identify levels?
Yes, so fentanyl was reported at 15 nanograms per milliliter and norfentanyl at 3.3 nanograms per milliliter.
What is norfentanyl?
Norfentanyl is a metabolite of fentanyl. So when your body is trying to eliminate drugs, they'll break them down into a different form called metabolites sometime that are easier for the body to excrete. So it's inactive, it doesn't cause any effects, but it just shows that some fentanyl has been metabolized to norfentanyl.
Did you screen for hydrocodone?
Yes.
And did the screen identify anything for further testing?
No.
Okay. Any other opioids tested in the screening?
Yes.
And any others besides fentanyl positive for further testing?
No.
Do you know how long hydrocodone stays in the body that you're able to find it in the subsequent toxicology test?
So hydrocodone has a half-life of maybe 4 to 6 hours. So a half-life refers to how long does it take for the concentration to go in half. And usually drugs will be completely eliminated from your body in 5 half-lives. So if someone took a dose of hydrocodone, we would expect it all to be eliminated within 20 to 30 hours based on that 4 to 6 hour half-life times 5.
Okay. When a person dies, does it freeze in place whatever is there? I mean, you don't continue to eliminate it, or it doesn't evaporate once the blood is drawn out. It freezes it in place. Is that correct?
In general, it's going to be a snapshot of what was going on. There are some drugs that might have limited stability, like cocaine can be broken down after death just due to enzymes that are present that can break it down into its metabolite. So there are a few drugs that we know have limited stability in the biological samples after death, but for the most part, yes, it's, your body has stopped working, like it's no longer going to be metabolizing, etc.
Is that true for opioids then?
That it should be a snapshot of them, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever heard of a principle or a theory or something called postmortem redistribution?
Yes.
Can you give a brief explanation of what that is?
So postmortem redistribution, so after someone dies, the pH of your blood starts to change and the permeability of the tissues isn't maintained the same. So it means if there was like drugs stored in like major organs like your heart or your lungs, they might start to seep out of those organs and go into the neighboring blood. And so this means like they're being redistributed. So maybe there was a concentration of drugs in your heart, and now after death, due to the changes the body might be undergoing, they might go into the blood and increase the concentration. So the blood might not be, the concentration that's there might not be an exact representation of the concentration at the time right before death, right? So it might have increased due to the tissues releasing some of their drug stores into that blood sample.
When you obtain the blood, when the person, the OME or whomever is obtaining the blood, does it, after death, does it matter where they obtain it from with regards to this redistribution?
Post-mortem redistribution should occur less if you take from a peripheral blood source like the femoral vein, because those veins aren't as close to the major organs, versus if you take blood from a central source like a cardiac, that is closer to your heart and all of the other organs. So it's more likely to have postmortem redistribution in a central blood source compared to a peripheral, but it doesn't mean that it can't happen in a peripheral blood source.
Okay. So does the literature say, identify what is a lethal dose of fentanyl?
So studies are published that provide concentrations of drugs found where it's been determined that fentanyl contributed to the death. So there are studies that give these concentration ranges, yes.
And does it vary from person to person?
Yes, so based on an individual's history of use with the drug, they might have a tolerance to it, which means that you might need a higher concentration to obtain the same desired effect. And it also means that you might need a higher concentration from someone, a chronic user, compared to a naive user for that drug to cause their death. So it can vary what is a lethal concentration for individual to individual.
For a person who has never taken fentanyl before, what is the literature say is a lethal dose?
So just in general, the lowest reported concentrations of fentanyl are 3 nanograms per milliliter, where it's been contributed to their death.
Okay, so in this case we had 15.
Correct.
Which is 5 times that.
Correct.
Okay. Now, even assuming this redistribution, postmortem redistribution, is that significantly still above this 3 nanograms per milliliter?
Yes, 15 is greater than 3.
Thank you. I am just a lawyer, so pardon my math. Okay, at a later time, were you asked to examine other of the samples that you were sent by the Utah medical examiner?
Yes, in October of 2022, the client requested that we perform a alcohol and drug screen on the gastric fluid.
And did you do that?
Yes.
Did, following that screen, did you get positive results for which you subsequently performed confirmatory tests?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us about those?
Yes, so ethanol was detected at 279 milligrams per deciliter. Quetiapine was detected at 16,000 nanograms per milliliter. Fentanyl was detected at 20,000 nanograms per milliliter. Norfentanyl was detected at 52 nanograms per milliliter. And acetylfentanyl was detected at 29 nanograms per milliliter.
We haven't heard about acetylfentanyl. What is that?
Acetylfentanyl is a fentanyl analog, so it's similar in structure, but it's an illicit drug. So there's no prescription pharmaceutical drug where it's going to be prescribed. It's solely illicit, and it's often seen in illicitly manufactured fentanyl as a co-product.
So for purposes of an analyst or a criminal investigator, that would be a marker that this came from a source, this fentanyl came from a source that was illicit.
You could provide that interpretation, yes.
Okay.
I mean, they could have just had acetylfentanyl and maybe a fentanyl prescription, but often when you see acetylfentanyl, it's an indication that the fentanyl was illicit.
Okay. This 279 milligrams per deciliter of ethanol, I want to go into that. First of all, how much alcohol is that in layman's terms, like in order of, say, shots of liquor or 12-ounce beers or whatever?
So this will be kind of a multi-step answer. So the 279 milligrams per deciliter is a concentration. And so your question was asking just about milligrams. So like if you have a beer or a shot of alcohol, that's just in terms of milligrams of ethanol. So to figure that out, you would have to take the 279 times the total volume of gastric fluid that's available.
Were you made aware of the total volume?
Yes, I was.
From whom?
Dr. Ulmer.
Okay, and did she give you a figure?
700 milliliters.
Okay, and so from that you were able to make a calculation?
Yeah, so you would multiply the 279 times the 700 milliliters and doing the conversions for deciliters to milliliters, but you end up with around 1,900 milligrams of ethanol versus a standard drink of ethanol is 14,000 milligrams. So it's well below the amount that you would find just in one standard drink of ethanol.
Is there another possible source for this alcohol than alcoholic beverage?
Yes, so it's known that if you have a source of glucose and bacteria, that ethanol can be formed post-mortem. So the bacteria convert glucose, because it's carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, just like ethanol. It can convert glucose into ethanol. And so obviously, like in gastric contents, you might have a source of glucose if there's food there, and then your stomach naturally has bacteria. So this postmortem formation can occur either in the body prior to sample collection, but it could also happen in the collection container because often they don't have a preservative that would inhibit the bacteria from doing this process of postmortem formation of ethanol.
Is there any way you can chemically identify whether it's this postmortem decomposition or vodka?
Not in the testing that we performed.
Okay. Can you tell us, based on your knowledge of the volume in the gastric fluid, anything about this quetiapine, and how much of a pill, if you will, would be there, or a dosage?
Right. So again, you would take the concentration, the 16,000 nanograms per milliliter, multiply it times the total 700 milliliters, and you get a very large number. But drugs are given typically in milligram doses, and there's 1 million nanograms in 1 milligram, right? So after you do that math, it ends up being 11 milligrams of quetiapine. I just want to state, like, the assumption is that 700 milliliters of gastric was homogeneous, so that the concentration was consistent throughout the entire volume, and that the sample that was sent to us represents that 700 milliliters as a whole. Like, that assumption has to be made for the calculations that I'm providing.
And so is it that 16,000 come to equal a standard dosage, prescription dosage?
I would say it's less than a standard dosage. I mean, it depends on a person's prescription, but typically like 75, 100, 250 milligrams of quetiapine might be prescribed versus our calculation was 11 milligrams.
Okay. Did you, a few minutes ago, did you have an opportunity to look at States Exhibit 9-1, a quetiapine bottle with its label on it?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You also have the results that you obtained through screening and your confirmation test. With the knowns that you have available to you, are you able to say that the quetiapine and fentanyl had to have been taken sequentially, either one before the other one, or at the same time, or anything like that?
I cannot make any of those conclusions.
Okay. I have nothing for this witness.
He's loose. Glass of water is for you.
Good morning, Dr. Peterson.
Morning.
I'm Wendy Lewis. I'm one of Ms. Richins' attorneys. Nice to meet you. So you've been working at NMS Labs, you said, for how long?
Since June of 2021.
All right. And prior to that, were you still doing the same type of work, forensic toxicology?
Yes, I was.
All right. So part of your job isn't working with live patients, true?
Correct.
All right. So you don't deal with when someone comes in who's maybe possibly overdosing from some kind of drug?
That's correct.
All right. So you look at what's happened only after death by looking at samples, correct?
I look at the data generated from those samples being tested.
That's fair. That's fair. How a scientist would describe it rather than an attorney. Okay, so I want to talk about fentanyl and follow up a little bit on what Mr. Burmester asked you regarding lethal doses of fentanyl. So here you said we had 15 nanograms per milliliter of fentanyl in the bloodstream. Did I get that right?
Correct.
All right. And fatalities for fentanyl, there's a fairly large range of what could be a fatal dose of fentanyl. Is that fair?
Correct.
All right. So a much lower dose could cause the death of someone. True?
Lower than 15? Yes.
Yes. And in some people who have some tolerance, it could be a higher dose than that before it would be fatal. Fair?
That's correct.
All right. So when someone takes fentanyl, is it fair to say that it would take about 30 minutes from the time the fentanyl's ingested before it starts to show up in the bloodstream?
Yeah, some of it's going to depend on if the stomach is empty and if it's in liquid form or solid, but I would say usually 15 to 60 minutes it might take for absorption for it to be at a measurable amount in the blood.
All right. And is there any way to tell? Let me rephrase that. There was also fentanyl found in Mr. Richins' stomach. We spoke about that.
Correct.
So we know that he for sure ingested fentanyl. It wasn't given to him or he didn't take it any other way. Like he didn't use it, he didn't inject it. True?
I mean, you could do both, but the presence of it in the gastric contents does provide the interpretation that one route of administration was ingestion.
All right, that makes sense. Now, you mentioned that also present was norfentanyl.
Correct.
And norfentanyl is a metabolite. Did I say that properly? Of fentanyl.
Yes, that's correct.
So when the body starts to metabolite the fentanyl, you'll see norfentanyl also in the system or in the samples.
Well, correct.
Okay, well, let me ask another question. Maybe we can clarify. It's possible that someone could die of a fentanyl overdose so quickly you wouldn't see norfentanyl in the system. True?
That's correct.
All right. So in someone who's never taken fentanyl, hypothetically, it's possible that first exposure, they take it, they die so quickly, norfentanyl is not observed.
Yes, that can happen.
All right. So when someone has a high dose of fentanyl and we see norfentanyl on the report, the body has started to metabolize the fentanyl.
Correct.
And wouldn't it be more... Well, strike that. Let me ask one question before I get to that one. So that would mean that after the fentanyl was ingested, Mr. Richins was alive long enough that his liver began to metabolize the norfentanyl, or the fentanyl resulting in norfentanyl.
Correct.
All right. And that would be more likely for the body to start to metabolize it before death in someone who it was not their first time taking fentanyl, correct?
I don't think you can draw that conclusion.
And, well, let me back up. So it's possible someone has no exposure to fentanyl, they take it, they die very, very quickly.
That's a possibility, yes.
And someone who has had exposure, I'm not saying that 100% wouldn't, they may show norfentanyl, but it's more likely that someone who's had some exposure to fentanyl would start, especially at a higher dose, would start to metabolize it, having the norfentanyl appear, as opposed to someone who had never taken it. True?
I don't agree with that.
All right. You talked about things that were not found in the blood, and was naltrexone tested for?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and there was no naltrexone in Mr. Richins' blood?
The screening result did not meet the threshold to go to that second confirmation test.
All right. All right, I want to move to post-mortem production of alcohol that you talked about with Mr. Burmester. So post-mortem production of alcohol is more likely to occur in some scenarios than other scenarios. Fair?
Yes.
I mean, not every body is going to have production of alcohol. We don't see that just because someone dies, that's not there. True?
That's correct.
All right. So some of the circumstances that might result in postmortem are things such as a long delay between the death and autopsy. True?
I mean, the two variables that are needed are glucose and the bacteria.
All right. But is it also true that there are certain scenarios where it's more likely to happen, such as a long delay between the autopsy and the death? You're more likely to see it than an autopsy that happened fairly quickly. Fair?
Are you talking about in any matrix or gastric in particular or just general?
Well,
Sorry.
no, now you're getting scientific on me.
I'll just answer your question that yes, a longer postmortem interval is a pre-analytical factor that could lead to postmortem formation of ethanol.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And I'm not saying every time, but these are
Correct.
circumstances that make it more likely.
It can be, yes.
Okay. And we didn't have a long delay here between death and autopsy.
No idea.
Well, assuming he died somewhere between 10:30 p.m. and 3 a.m., autopsy's done at 7:30 a.m., that's not considered a long delay in terms of an autopsy, true?
That's just not something I do.
Okay.
So I don't have
So
an
that would be a
opinion.
question. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Question for an ME.
Yes.
All right, fair. Does trauma to the body increase the chances of postmortem production of alcohol?
It can, because if you have trauma where the gastric tract gets broken open, then that bacteria is released and can be in the blood, and you need the bacteria to do the postmortem formation.
Right. And that didn't happen here.
No idea.
So a body being warm for a long period of time, that also increases the chances
It
of
could.
postmortem.
It could, yes.
And are you aware if when a body arrives at a ME's office, typically it's refrigerated, fair?
Yes.
All right. Was there testing done for yeast in his system that could produce alcohol?
No, there was not.
Because yeast in the system is something that would result in postmortem. Well, I might be phrasing that wrong, but yeast in the system could result in the production of alcohol that would be seen, such as it was here.
Yes.
All right, but that wasn't tested for.
No.
All right. So it's possible that there was postmortem decomposition, but it's equally possible that he took a drink before bed, correct?
Correct.
How long after taking a drink of alcohol? Well, is it fair to say alcohol takes about 10 to 15 minutes to hit the bloodstream?
Again, it depends on the stomach and if it's full or not. So if you have an empty stomach, then the alcohol can get to the intestines faster, which is where the majority of the absorption occurs. So yeah, maybe 15-30 minutes if your stomach is empty, but if you have delayed gastric emptying, then it might take longer for you to reach that peak alcohol concentration.
All right,
But
peak alcohol concentration.
yeah,
but
for
that's
some alcohol to be in the blood, sure, 15-30 minutes.
within 30 minutes.
Yes.
And some fentanyl would be in the blood probably within 30 minutes of ingestion.
Again, yeah, within 15 to 60 minutes in general, yes.
So, if Mr. Richins had fentanyl in the blood, but not alcohol, a real possibility is that he ingested the fentanyl and then took a drink, give or take maybe 30 minutes later. Maybe less, 15 to 30 minutes after he took the fentanyl. Fair assumption, correct?
I can't provide a timeline of when things were ingested. Some of it is, you say, take a drink. Did you take a sip? That might not even become measurable in the blood. Or how long did he live after the alcohol was consumed, and the body could have just metabolized it below our threshold for reporting. So I can speak generally about both. Yes, can be absorbed and be present in the blood within the 15, 30 minutes.
Well, that amount of fentanyl, typically someone would pass away, would die from that dosage of fentanyl within 20 minutes?
I can't provide an exact time frame. Sometimes there's delayed deaths with respiratory depression, so I can't pinpoint.
Okay, you can't I understand. I mean, we're talking in generalities here. So if someone takes that dosage of fentanyl that you found, what would you expect? Would someone live for hours after that? They wouldn't.
Again, I don't even know what dosage was taken, and I don't know this individual's history of use with this drug, so I can just say what was detected in the blood, what was detected in the gastric, and I can provide general information about absorption of alcohol and drugs and time frames.
All right, so he might have lived longer had this was not the first time he took fentanyl. He may have lived longer after he took the fentanyl.
Again, I don't know what dose was taken.
All right, I'm basing it on what was in the blood. You know how much was in the blood, which can give you an idea, approximately, of a dose that was taken. Fair?
I mean, assuming it, I'm not sure what you mean by dose, like how many micrograms of fentanyl were taken.
All right. You've testified that 15 nanograms per milliliter is 5 times more than a lethal dose of fentanyl.
Correct.
All right. So, and I understand, we don't know if that meant he ingested 1 pill of fentanyl or 5 pills of fentanyl. We don't know that. True?
Correct.
All right. However, he clearly took more than, and you're going to have to help me with the numbers, because I don't know how it converts from milligrams taken to what's in the blood. But you said a lethal dose could be as low as 3 nanograms per milliliter.
A lethal concentration.
Concentration. So in your experience as a toxicologist, wouldn't that give you some idea of the amount of fentanyl that was ingested to result in that in the blood? Maybe not exactly, but you would have an idea.
Well, again, previously I testified about postmortem redistribution, so I'm not aware if that happened or not and could have elevated that concentration of fentanyl. So there's limitations to being able to say what dose ended up with this concentration.
All right, let's try and put this in terms for a layperson. You're handed a fentanyl pill. It's got 1 milligram of fentanyl in it. Is that a lethal dose of fentanyl? Could it be? I know you don't know because it would depend on the individual.
Yes.
All right. And if someone took 1 milligram, a 1 milligram pill of fentanyl, and give me a range of what you would expect to see in the blood. Would that be more or less than what you saw here? A range. I know you can't tell me exactly.
So let's say you're given a 800 microgram dose of fentanyl, because fentanyl is very potent.
1
so
milligram would be a lot of fentanyl,
yeah, we don't
right?
give milligrams, we
Okay.
give micrograms, so 1,000-fold less.
Thank you.
But therapeutically, you're trying to get into that 2 to 5 nanogram range, because it's a very small window of when it's therapeutic and when it's fatal. So.
All right. I think that helps me with my question. So someone's given a therapeutic dose of fentanyl in the hospital, which apparently is nanograms, because milligrams is a lot when it comes to fentanyl.
Micrograms, yes.
Micrograms, thank you. Yeah, I don't know if I ever took a science class in college, so. What would you expect to see range-wise in the blood had someone had a therapeutic dose of fentanyl in the hospital? Let's say they died, not for some reason or another, after they had that therapeutic dose of fentanyl. What range would you expect to see in the blood?
All right, so clinically, when they dose people, then like 2 to 3 nanograms per milliliter.
All right. So he clearly took more, obviously, than a therapeutic dose.
I can't make that conclusion.
Well, it would be pretty unusual to see 15 nanograms per milliliter if normally you think you'd see 2 or 3. Or I think you even said lower than that, I'm sorry.
But again, I don't know if postmortem redistribution occurred. I don't know this individual's history of use with this drug. And so if they had tolerance, they could take a higher dose and be able to be alive with a higher concentration.
All right. And we don't know that. Okay, let me just boil it down. Is it possible, based on the findings here, that Mr. Richins ingested fentanyl and then after he ingested the fentanyl, he had a drink of alcohol? We don't know how much, but he had a drink. That's a possibility. True?
True.
All right. I want to talk about the quetiapine for a minute. Now, quetiapine is not naturally produced in the body after someone dies, right?
Correct.
So he had to have ingested quetiapine.
Correct.
And it appears that it was not a very high dose. You said it was probably a fairly low dose of quetiapine.
In the gastric, yes.
In the gastric. And again, the quetiapine had not made it to the blood. He died before there was a chance for the quetiapine to make its way into his blood. Correct?
There was no quetiapine above our threshold for performing a confirmation test.
Well, you couldn't measure any quetiapine in the blood. True?
No.
You did measure some in the blood.
Yes.
And where's that in your report?
It wasn't above our threshold for reporting or performing a confirmation test.
So in your report, there's no indication that quetiapine was found in the blood.
Correct.
All right. And your report's accurate.
Correct.
All right. So, again, quetiapine takes about the same amount of time to hit the blood as fentanyl, more or less, about 30 minutes.
Correct.
So a very possible scenario, likely scenario, is that he ingested the fentanyl before the quetiapine. Fair?
No.
Well, if he took them together, they would have both been in the blood,
That's
right?
not true. I mean, if you didn't take a dose that would lead to a concentration that's reportable in the blood, doesn't mean you didn't take it. It just means that it wasn't at a concentration high enough to be above our threshold for reporting.
I understand that, but maybe my question wasn't clear. Whatever amount of quetiapine he took, there was not a measurable, reportable amount in his blood.
That is correct.
The fentanyl he took, there was.
That is correct.
The fentanyl had made its way to his blood prior to him passing.
That is correct.
The quetiapine had not.
Not above a concentration that would be reported by us.
Not even in a concentration that you noted in any way.
Correct.
So it is possible that he took the fentanyl and then later took the quetiapine. That's a possibility.
Sure.
All right. So one possibility here is that Mr. Richins ingested fentanyl, and then within the next 15, 20, 30 minutes, he had a drink and took a quetiapine. That's a possibility. Correct?
Sure.
All right. Just give me a moment, please. no further questions at this time. Thank you, Dr. Friedrich.
Mr. Burmester, within the scope of cross, please.
Taking up where we last were, aren't there other equally possible hypotheticals, such as a drink of alcohol with quetiapine and fentanyl taken at the same time?
Sure.
Okay. Is the problem that there aren't enough, there are too many variables that are left unknown that we can't fix any of those? We can't fix the hypothetical and say one is more likely than another because there are too many variables?
Yes.
One of those is that you can't tell this jury whether the alcohol in the gastric fluid came from an alcoholic beverage or decomposition.
Correct.
When you look at the 15 nanograms of fentanyl and the 3.3 of norfentanyl, can you give any insight as, is there a relationship, those numbers have some sort of relationship that we can tell anything from that? For example, how long ago it was taken, that sort of thing?
So assumptions still have to be made. So you would have, one assumption is this person has never used fentanyl before. Then that means that they lived long enough for the body to form norfentanyl. But for me, I have no idea their history of use. So there could be norfentanyl still present from a prior use, and then the new fentanyl was taken, and maybe they died before it started to metabolize, but that norfentanyl is still present from a prior use. But once fentanyl is absorbed into the blood, as soon as that happens, it's circulating, can get to the liver, and that norfentanyl can start to appear right away. So within a few minutes, you're going to start having norfentanyl formed and present in the blood once the fentanyl is absorbed into the blood.
Whether you're a previous user or a new user?
Correct.
Okay. We have the marker, possible marker of the acetyl fentanyl. And if we make an assumption that that came from the same source as the fentanyl.
Your Honor, I think that's beyond the scope. I didn't ask her anything about the acetyl fentanyl.
Well, let's see what the rest of the question is, and then you can renew your objection. Go ahead, Mr. Burmester.
We can make the assumption that it was an illicit source as opposed to illicit source.
Same objection.
Sustained. Just keep it.
Okay. Okay, it's fine. I'll just. That's all the questions.
Anything further, Ms. Lewis?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. You're welcome to step down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Detective Frankfurt.
Give me a sense. Is this a 15-minute witness or a longer?
Shorter.
Okay, let's do it. I need you next to a mic, Mr. Riverster. My apologies.
He wants to know if the witness can be released from her subpoena.
Ms. Lewis, any objection to releasing Dr. Peterson?
No, Your Honor.
Doctor, you are released. Thank you for your time. Detective, if you'd step in front of Brittany, we'll get you sworn in.
solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury. Thank you. Have a seat.
Good morning, sir. If you could state your name and spell your last name, please.
Frank Root, R-O-O-T,
Where do you work?
Summit County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you worked there?
6 years,
And what's your assignment with the sheriff's office?
investigations detective.
And as part of your role in this case, did you meet with Robert Josh Grossman?
Yes,
And during one of those times that you've met with him, did you collect a cell phone from him?
yes,
Was that an iPhone 7?
yes, I believe so.
When did you collect that phone from him?
May 26, 2023.
Once you collected that phone, was it booked into evidence?
Yes,
Was it later transferred to be downloaded, the contents?
yes.
Okay, those are all my questions for you. Thank you.
Ms. Nestor, any questions?
Mr.
Oh, Mr. Ramos, my apologies.
It's me. Can we approach for just a minute?
Sure. Are there any questions for Detective Root at this time?
Very briefly.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Detective Root. How are you?
Good morning, counsel. Good, thank you.
I want to just make sure I understand. The phone you recovered from Mr. Grossman, was it one phone?
No, there were 2 phones.
Okay. And what color were the phones?
One was black, one was white.
Did you recover both of them at the same time, or did you do 2 trips to get phones from him
No, I recovered 2 phones at that time.
together?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that the first time you'd ever met Mr. Grossman?
No, it was not.
All right, so you knew it to be Mr. Grossman because you had met him before.
Yes, ma'am.
And the way you had met him before is interviewing him?
Correct.
I can't go into the interview? Okay.
Not right now.
We're going to talk about that at another time.
Yes, ma'am.
At some point, were you ever asked to return the phones to Mr. Grossman?
I was.
Right. And then were you ever asked to go back and get them again?
I was.
So how many times total did you pick up phones, deliver them for review, take them back, pick them up, take them back? How many times did you do that?
I transported phones multiple times.
More than 2?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you give Mr. Grossman a reason why you had to keep coming back and getting his phones over and over and over again?
Yeah, I think we're beyond the scope at this point.
No, why don't you just ask him? if he had a reason.
Did you have a reason for why you kept going back to get his phones, take them, bring them back, take them, bring them back?
I was instructed to retrieve them by my chain of command.
So you don't know the reason?
No, ma'am.
Right. And in those periods of time, in between when you'd pick up the phone, take it to the station, bring it back, pick it up, bring it back, in those in-between times, you don't know what he did with that phone, do you?
Can you be specific about the he?
Mr. Grossman, sorry. I'll try not to use a pronoun.
In one specific instance, Mr. Grossman had the phones. During that time, no, I do not know what he did with them.
Okay. Did he ever show you things on his phone when you were with him before you took them into your custody?
On those phones, no, they were not operable.
They were not operable.
Correct.
So you took inoperable phones from him.
Correct.
Did you ever take operable phones from him?
When I was instructed to get them back from Mr. Grossman, they were operable at that time.
And when you went to go visit him and look at his phone, did he show you anything on the phone?
On those phones, I don't recall.
Did he show you anything on any phone?
He has shown things on his current cell phone to me, but the phones in question, I don't recall him.
Did you compare his current phone to the, excuse me, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Oh, my apologies. I interrupted you. Let me hear the question first, and then Ms. Shervinack may have an objection.
Did you compare the current phone that he had to what was on that phone to the inoperable phones that ultimately became operable?
Pause for 1 second.
Your Honor, I do think we're beyond the scope now.
I agree. Sustained. Anything else about the two phones that Detective Root collected?
Did Mr. Grossman give you any reason why he believed the phones were inoperable?
Yes,
What was the reason he gave you?
he had broken them on accident.
Okay. Your Honor, we'll reserve the rest of our questioning for a later time, and we would ask that this witness not be released from his trial subpoena.
Understood. Detective, you're free to step down today. You may be called back in the future. We'll give you some notice.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Very good, sir. Ooh, yeah, watch out. Appropriate time to take a break, Ms. Shervinack?
Sure.
Okay, let's take a restroom break, folks. Thank you. Please rise for the jury. Mr. Bloodworth, Ms. Shervinack, who's on deck?
Cheney Engtao?
Okay, that person present.
Yes.
Okay, if you would let them know to be ready to go at 10:45, court's in recess until 10:45.
All rise.
Very good, thank you. Ms. Nestor, okay, here comes Ms. Lewis. Are we ready for the jury, Ms. Nestor?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Shervanack, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. If we invite them in, please. All right, folks, have a seat, please. Ms. Shervanack, the state's next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. We'll call on Mr. Cheney Engtau. Before he takes the stand, I do need to move to admit the state's Exhibit 9-6 that Detective Root testified to. Is it just one bottle?
9-6 was 2 phones. Are we admitting both or just the iPhone 7 that he testified to?
The iPhone 7 is the one we need, but
And forgive me, I didn't catch the color.
the color,
Yeah, it's either white or black. Do we know?
it's the only iPhone 7.
Understood. Okay. Any objection, Ms. Nestor?
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat the exhibit number, please?
It's the
9-6.
96. No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, so the iPhone 7 that is part of 9-6 is admitted.
Thank you. We're ready for our witness.
Sir, if you would please step in front of Brittany, we'll get you sworn in.
Can you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
If you could state your name and spell your last name, please.
My name is Cheney Engtau. Last name is spelled Echo November Golf hyphen Tango Oscar Whiskey.
Where do you work?
I work for the State of Utah Department of Public Safety Bureau of Forensic Services, but I'm assigned to the Intermountain West Regional Computer Forensic Laboratory.
How do we refer to that place in shorthand?
IWRCFL.
IWR.
IWR, yep.
And what do you do? Is it okay if I refer to it as the RCFL?
Absolutely.
Thank you. What do you do at the RCFL?
I'm a digital evidence laboratory technician there, and my primary role is to access data from Apple mobile devices.
Are you trained to perform cell phone downloads?
Yes.
What kind of programs do you use to do that work?
For Apple devices, we typically use a device known as Gray Key.
Are you certified to, well, I guess, do you need to be certified to use that program?
No.
Are you also familiar with Celebrate?
Yes.
Are you certified to use that program?
Yes, certain aspects of it, yes.
And what are your certifications in Celebrate?
Cellbrite Certified Operator and Cellbrite Certified Physical Analyst.
What is Celebrate?
Cellbrite's just software that can be used to download phones, and it can also be used to parse out extractions which are obtained from phones. So it puts the data in a readable format for people.
Did you receive a request from the Summit County Sheriff's Office to do extractions or downloads from cell phones?
Yes, they submitted 2 phones to the IWRCFL.
And were you able to complete downloads of those 2 phones?
Yes.
I want to talk first about the white iPhone 12 with the phone number ending 1987. Were you able to perform a download of this phone?
Yes.
And did you get a full file system acquisition from that phone?
Yes.
What does that mean?
It's just the type of there are different levels of information you can get from a cell phone when you extract them. In this case, we were given the passcode to the phone by Summit County when they submitted it. If you know the passcode or are able to break the passcode of a phone, you will get what's known as a full file system, which is essentially all the data from the cell phone.
And so you were able to obtain the raw data from that phone,
Yes.
and it was put into a readable format.
Yes.
And was that information from that phone ending in 1987 given back to the Summit County Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you the same questions for the second phone. You said there were 2 phones. Did you able to complete a download from a green iPhone 11, phone number ending 9317?
Yes, I believe it was a 11 Pro Max. Though.
11 Pro Max. And same question, you're able to perform a download for that phone?
Yes, we were given the passcode to that phone as well.
And did you similarly get a full file system acquisition?
Yes.
And was that raw data then put into a readable format?
Yes.
And was that information given back to the Summit County Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
Okay. Those are all my questions for you. Thank you.
Mr. Ramos.
Very briefly. Good morning.
Morning.
Could we geek out for just a little bit?
Sure.
All right. Could you just walk the jury through the process of how you use Great Key, what that gives you, in what format, what you then do with Celebrite, what you then get from Celebrite, what the format is, and then ultimately how it gets back to the Summit County Sheriff's Office. So basically everything you've just talked to, but break it down if that's
Sure.
okay.
Sure.
Perfect. Go ahead.
So essentially, we take the phone. Now, in this case, as I mentioned, we knew the passcode. So we would verify that the passcode worked. I would unlock the phone, and then you connect it to Great Key, which looks like a little computer. It looks kind of like an Apple Mac Mini is what it kind of looks like. Through a combination of the hardware proprietary, which is what Great Key is, hardware and software, it then accesses the data on the phone, and it gets an extraction, which in this case, as we mentioned, was a full file system extraction. That data is saved by Great Key in the form of a zip file. Now, that zip file is not readable. You couldn't just connect it to any other computer and just open it up and look at it. So that data has to be parsed out, essentially.
Sorry to interrupt. Could you explain how the data would look if we were to open it up before putting it into the Celebrite system?
You couldn't really even open it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would not be accessible. You need forensic software to access it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So then we use a program which was previously mentioned called Cellbrite. Now in this case, we're using Cellbrite Physical Analyzer, which is just a Cellbrite software that takes this extraction. So you load the extraction in, and then it parses that data from the extraction into the various types of data that everybody would see on your cell phone today. So you would see it parses it out to the SMS, text messages, MMS, messages, emails, Word documents, pictures, videos. All the data is just put into a format that when you go into Physical Analyzer, you could say, I want to see all the texts that came from this particular phone number, and then you could read the texts that were sent. Once that information is parsed out, you then create a report. So it generates a report of all that data, and it creates something we call using a UFED reader, which is just part of Cellbrite. It's like a standalone reader that allows us to give all the data from this report, along with the reader, back to the agency that submitted to us. And they take it typically is put onto like a Blu-ray disc. It depends how big the phone is.
Hey guys,
saved to a Blu-ray
I
disc.
absolutely hate to interrupt court. This is on Court TV. I'm sorry to even interrupt at all. I've been having a lot of bad symptoms for the last 4 days straight, and I've had some serious numbness in my body, and it's just really scary because once you've had a TIA stroke, you're at a higher risk for having a real stroke, and having a TIA isn't any fun either way. So I just want you guys to know I am going to have to stop our stream today. I really don't want to, but I'm going to go to the hospital and try to make sure that everything is okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. The weird thing is I feel somewhat normal, but I just feel it. I feel it in my face, my hands, my leg. It's all on my right side, and it's exactly what happens before, you know, some of this stuff happens. So obviously there's still a lot of issues going on here. I love you guys. This is on Court TV. I'll hopefully be able to stream for you guys tomorrow and have this up for you, and we can still interact. I would leave it up, but there's no way for me to stop it, and I have to bring my computer with me as well. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a great community. I don't want you guys to be too worried, but I just got to go take care of this and figure out what's going on. I really don't. I don't understand why I'm having so many issues right now. So I will keep you up to date, and I will let you know what's going on with me, and I will make sure you guys are good. I love you guys. Really do appreciate you. And again, sorry for interrupting this, but I just want to let you know this stream is we're going to end the stream right now. So keep you guys up to date. Love you guys, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. And I'll see you guys soon.